Hello team. So I'm trying to solve a problem where I need to create PowerPoint using some Claude skills. Now I can easily do on the Visual Studio Code here, or I can also use Claude.ai website. But in many enterprise scenarios, what we need to do is we have a lot of content and we need to create PowerPoint out of those content and it runs in background. So we need not to wait, but imagine there is a whole queue or pipeline where these all PPTs are created based on some content. So it's a continuous churning machine. So how do we build that kind of system? So for that, what we tried to do today was we try to use Claude Agent SDK. Again, using Claude Agent SDK, you can try many Claude skills, and that's what exactly we did. So using Claude Agent SDK, we invoked Office CLI. So Office CLI is a tool which can create PowerPoint, Word documents, and so on. So it not only generates, but it also verifies whether these PowerPoint or Word documents are, correct or not. So that's what it does. So in this experiment, what we did was we used Microsoft Foundry. So within Microsoft Foundry, there are different Claude models which are available. For example, Haiku, Sonnet, and so on. Just like AWS Bedrock, Microsoft Foundry has all the latest Claude models. So we generated some PPTs using Office CLI and Claude models hosted on Microsoft Foundry. And the idea was if we can do it programmatically, we can run a queue or churning system which is going to create PPT in and out. So today we are going to see how to do that exactly. So few things which are needed before we start. So first of all, you need to ensure that you have Microsoft Foundry and you must have some Claude models available. So here, if you can see, I have Haiku as well as Sonnet available. So I'm going to utilize this and I'm going to log in into my Microsoft Foundry and I'm going to use it. So basically, if I go here, I have an environment file where I have put all the things which are needed. For example, what is the base URL, what is the resource, and so on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in using my AZ CLI, which means using AZ CLI, you can log into Microsoft Foundry. So if I have to tell you, let's say if I go here and I create a new command prompt, and what I can do is I can do something like AZ login, and it is going to ask me where exactly is your Microsoft Foundry and so on. And that's how I was able to log in. So now I'm logged in and I have access to all the Claude models which are available. Now what I can do is next I can run my file. So if you see, this file is utilizing Claude Agent SDK, and essentially what we are doing is we are telling it to find all the skills and then use Claude Agent SDK to create those PPTs. So if you see, this is pretty simple. In this folder, I have two skills which are installed. So one is the Office CLI skill. Again, the Office CLI, as I mentioned, it is used to create different documents like docx, pptx. So this is the CLI which is available. And another one which I'm using is brand guideline. It's a fictitious brand guideline. And the reason why I have created is when I'm creating PPT, I need to adhere to some brand guidelines. For example, fonts, the layout and so on. So essentially what I have is I have two skills which are available. One for creating PPT or Word document or XLSX. The other one is to create the brand guideline. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm just using Claude Agent SDK to give it a simple text. So the simple text which I have given is create 2 slide PPTs using the Office CLI skill and brand guideline based on content.txt. So what I have is a content.txt, which is a sort of a text which is available to me. It's a text about a fictitious company, which is Acme CRM. And imagine you have a brand guideline for that particular company. And that what you try to do is you try to run this. Now, essentially what's going to happen is using Claude Agent SDK, I'm reading this folder, I'm trying to find out what are the different skills which are available. And based on that, the 2 slider PPT is created. Now, I'm not going to run it because it takes a lot of time to run it. But essentially what you are going to see is, so here is what I have run, and it took me around 3-4 minutes to run it. So using this text, if you see, it is reading all the skills and then creating 2 slider PPT. And here is how it created a PPT. So for example, if I go here, if I see, this is the PPT which is created. So using my content, which was there in my text, using my skills, which are available here, now I can programmatically design these PPTs. So the GitHub repo will be here in the YouTube link. And thanks team, thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.